Hey there, my name is Jason from Kinetic Management Systems, and this is a system that we built that actually helps clean out your entire database. So if you have people that are emailing you, and if you want to add them to your email list, for instance, then this is the way that we ask them and sort out things out. If we haven't met, my name is Jason Littrell. I'm a hospitality management consultant for Kinetic Marketing Systems, Kinetic Management Systems, and this is how the system works. So it's called KMS List Cleanup 2.0. So there's a couple different versions of this. It's because I've had different lists over the years. People have emailed me, I've emailed them. I make sure that I keep very close track of who's opted in, who's opted out. And what this does is it basically gives people the option to opt in or opt out of my stuff. And so if they don't want to hear from me once a week from the Optioner newsletter, then this is how they do it. And also, whenever, so I've got people coming in from, they're kind of filled, they're bulk send it into this workflow, which bypasses this trigger. But the trigger is anytime a contact is created. And the way that a contact is created in my system is anytime I receive an email. So if somebody's emailing me, then I'm exercising my option to email them, and it's a very low barrier entry to build up your database really quickly. And so what happens is I connect my Gmail account to my system and to the system that my clients have, and we will wait a week. We'll wait 7 whole days for people to come in. So there's 1,500 people waiting in this step right here. And then we'll assign them to me, making sure that contact is assigned to me. And then we, just so we don't, the system only fires in a certain window per day because we don't want to email people in the middle of the night. And also we want to limit how many emails that we send a day because we don't want to trigger any spam filters or promotions folder filters. And so what we do is so I drip mode them into the email, into the workflow, so that we're not sending like hundreds at a time or thousands at a time. And so we send them 1 a minute between the hours of 10 and 5, which is around 360 emails. And so we just add a little notation to the account so that the contact is well notated and documented. And we run them through a series of filters. Now, I've turned off a couple of these filters, but this is a if-then statement. So it's a conditional logic filter. And so it just runs through and says, like, if this happens, then this. If that happens, then this. If that happens, then this. If that happens, then this. And so the conditions that we're looking for are first name and email address and phone number. And so if we know the first name and we have an email address, then one thing happens. If we don't have a first name but we have an email address, then we do another thing. And so I'll just show you those two right now. But there's a couple different things here that happen. So first name and email is present. And so if we have the first name in the email, then we update it. Then we send an email right here that says something along the lines of, "Hey there, I'm cleaning up my database. We just wanted to make sure I wasn't bothering you. Did you want updates from me? Do you want to opt in? I send a weekly newsletter about tech and AI in the bar and drinks business and how to implement it. It's called Opt Nerd. Are you into it? Yes or no?" And these are called trigger links right here. And so when people click these links, they're automatically put into a separate workflow that either opts them in or opts them out, to make sure that we don't bother the people that don't want to be bothered. And so when I email people at scale, I have to make sure that they're opted in, that they have chosen to receive emails from me. Otherwise, I'm in violation of what's called a CAN spam compliance. So CAN spam compliance is very, very important. Like, you cannot, it just basically means that you just don't bother people with email. So I take that very seriously, and we just want to make sure that we are doing everything correctly and above board. And so we're asking everybody most of these people have been on my email list before, and so I just want to double check and make sure that they're happy with it. So 97% of them have been delivered, 3% of them have bounced, and there's an email validation system on the system which makes sure that we don't actually fully send emails. If the email is going to bounce, we test and check first if we've never emailed them before. With this system. And so we're getting 30% open rate and then about 12% click rate, which is insane. And what this does is having this kind of engagement with your emails really tells all the Gmail and Outlook filters that you actually know what you're doing, that you're not emailing people that don't want to be emailed, and then you're not hassling people. So this is the email if we have their first name and email. So we're addressing people by name here. The second one over here is if their name and phone number is empty. So we don't have their phone number. And so we're going to email them a kind of a generic email saying like, "Hey, what's up? What's up there? Hey there," and then it's basically the same email. And so the metrics on this one are that 94% are delivered, and then almost 20% are open, and then 7% are clicked, which is still 3 times what a benchmark is for an open rate. So like the benchmarks that I like to look for are around at least 20% open rate. So this is a little low for us. Typically with emails that are high value emails, like newsletters, for instance, are in like the 50-60% open rate, but 20% is what you should benchmark against. Click rate is around 2%, and so when you're anywhere above that, then you're doing pretty good. And so what we're doing is we're giving, strategically, we're giving people the option to click 2 links. One of them is remove me from your database, versus the unsubscribe link, which is fed back into the spam filters. So we don't want to get tricked up in there. If you have too many unsubscribes or bounces, then it shows the big email places that you are not a trusted sender. So this is called sender reputation. And then there's other ones based on like name and email is empty, but we have their phone number. If that's the case, then we'll text them. But I'm not going to do we're not doing texting and stuff like that, because that's just a little too intrusive. And then the ones who fall through the system, we just want to make sure that we are notating them, adding a tag saying that they were not sorted. And then I like to also have like kind of little notifications when so there's another workflow when people click the 2 links, like like, do you want my stuff, yes or no? And then each of those are separate workflows that opt them in or opt them out, which is just basically tagging. And then that goes into just a solid list. And so we just keep track of everything, every piece of communication we've ever had with every contact, and it's kind of running through about 50,000 contacts that have had over the years. And so that's kind of how that works. So that means that we have a high sender reputation, which means that we have high deliverability. We're not bothering people, and we're only sending stuff that people actually want, which is the essence of email marketing. And so this is how I get people to check out my stuff. So mostly this is leading into the Ops Nerd email newsletter, which you should definitely check out, because I send 3 things once a week. It takes about 3 minutes to read, and it's 3 things that you can implement for your hospitality business from that email. All right, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully that's really interesting. And if you want this stuff set up for your business, let me know. And I'm happy to just comment on this video or send me an email. Thanks.